department into action and moments later arrives on the scene to put the fire out, to save the lives and property involved, and to prevent the fire from spreading. Scenes like these are common in the daily life of a fireman. Each year, millions of dollars in property goes up in smoke and flames. Each year, countless lives are lost. Each year, our forests and timberlands are destroyed. A fire picks its own time to happen. Fires can happen during the day or night, in winter or summer, accidentally or by carelessness, sometimes by design. But wherever and whenever they happen, it's up to the firemen to get there as fast as possible and put it out. This is your volunteer fire department in action. When a fire is put out, the unglamorous but necessary job of cleaning up remains. Hoses are rolled up, ladders put back on the truck. Also, there is time to reflect on the fire itself. How and why did it happen? Could it have been prevented? There are reports to be filled out, questions to be answered. And then, back to the firehouse. Back at the firehouse, there's more work to be done. All equipment must be checked, cleaned, and repaired if necessary. Your volunteer fire department cannot sit around thinking of the last fire, but rather they must be prepared for the next one, which may happen at any moment. And so the cleaning goes on with loving care. The firemen secure in the knowledge that if called upon again, they and the equipment will be ready. What does a volunteer fireman do when he's not fighting fires? Why, he relaxes. Most fire companies in Carlisle have recreation rooms. No doubt the scenes are similar to this one at the Union Fire Company. Here the volunteer fireman gets together with his buddies for a game of pool. However relaxed a fireman may seem to be, he nevertheless is available at a moment's notice. Nearby, a monitor stands ready to give warning in the event of fire.
We're going to go up to bed.
Some volunteer firemen occasionally spend the night at the firehouse, which is equipped with bunk beds and showers and some of the comforts of home. Meanwhile, back at the pool table downstairs, the continues. This, then, was pretty much the scene on the night of December 9th, 1962, at about 11:30 p.m. And then it happened.
Okay, right away. This is KGD 554 with a fire call for the Union and the Common, the rear of Bowman store.
In arriving at the scene of the fire, the Union and Cumberland Fire Companies discovered the entire Bowman Company store in flames. It soon became evident the fire was completely out of control and the Bowman building was beyond saving. The task then became one of preventing the spread of the fire and saving the surrounding buildings. To accomplish this, more help was needed, and the decision was made almost immediately to call in all available equipment. With all 5 Carlisle fire companies, plus the Union Fire Company's rural service equipment at the scene, it was obvious still more help would be needed to contain the fire, which by now had spread to the McCrory store. Additional problems were encountered due to zero temperatures and gusty winds, which sent flaming embers blocks away. The fact that rooftops were still covered from a recent snow undoubtedly saved many nearby buildings from being set afire. Fire Chief Ray Kelly confers with his aides, including Assistant Fire Chief Paul Nicholson, on the fire's progress. He then decided to call the Mutual Aid and Fire Network at the Cumberland County Prison, who in turn dispatched 3 more fire companies from outlying districts to the scene.
Chief, this is KZD 554. It's this fire call for Boiling Springs, Mount Holly, and Benton Township. Fire companies were fighting the fire, including the Cumberland, Friendship, Union, Goodwill, and Empire Hook and Ladder Company, all of Carlisle. The Mount Holly, Boiling Springs, Carlisle Army War College, Penn Township, North Middleton, and Plainfield companies Also, several fire departments and outlying districts were on standby alert. And the entire Carlisle police force, as well as some state police and fire police, were on duty during the fire. The fire continued through most of the night, while the firemen tried desperately to keep it from spreading. The Bowman Company store, where the fire started, was practically gutted in a half hour. Next door was McCrory's 5 and 10 store, where the fire proved to be stubborn and took about 5 hours to get under control. The Cronenberg store and Cochran and Allen, which bordered Bowman and McCrory's, were very much in danger of going up in flames. As a result, firemen kept playing their hoses on them continually. To add to the problems, flying embers endangered the Molly Pitcher Hotel directly across the street. Consequently, firemen had to stand by atop the building, and beyond a few spot fires which were quickly extinguished, were able to prevent any further serious damage. At the scene of the fire, an ambulance, one of 3, stands by with its attendants. Also, the ever-present Salvation Army is on hand with very welcome hot coffee. A fireman suffering from smoke inhalation is given swift attention and taken to the Carlisle Hospital. Fortunately, no serious accidents occurred during the long night. Meanwhile, the fire continues. Through the long night, the ladies of the Salvation Army continued serving the weary firemen, and members of the Firemen's Women's Auxiliary were also on the scene serving refreshments. The early dawn shows dramatically the extent of destruction left in the wake of one of the worst fires ever to hit Carlisle. While the flames were extinguished, the ruins continued to smolder for some 48 hours. The Cronenberg building, which once before was destroyed by fire, had on rebuilding installed a reinforced firewall, and firemen state this was solely responsible for saving the building. Incidentally, it was 33 years ago, almost to the day, that the original Cronenberg building was destroyed by fire. While firemen continued to hose down the smoldering ruins, authorities went about the task of finding out how and why the fire got its start. It was discovered a safe in the Bowman building had been burglarized. Officials theorized the use of an acetylene cutting torch, a spark from which may have started the fire. The possibility of arson also was not overlooked. In any case, a sum of money was taken from the safe. It was several weeks before the full extent of damage was realized to property and to merchandise. As the fire occurred during the height of the Christmas season, the stores were fully stocked, and estimates, official and otherwise, went to $1 million. And so the fire is over. But there will be others. How many more depends to some extent on you. This is your volunteer fire department in action.